Duration's your problem.
Duration is the problem.
Yeah, it holds the valve open.
Okay.
And they have to match
Okay.
to make it run good. The cam's bigger the better. That's not true.
No, it's not true, is it? Welcome to BarryTsGarage. Another great episode ahead. We have your questions. Thank you for sending your questions in and your comments on the video. And Ed Smith never gets to see these ahead of time. We have a lot of fun with that. Ed, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to see you, Ed. This is not advice. It's just what Ed does.
Just what I think.
That's right. That's right. He has a 357 small block Chevy. I guess it's a little bit bored out or something.
60 over.
Okay, with a 9.5-to-1 compression ratio.
Okay.
Okay, and the cam is a 580 lift and a 300 duration.
That's a big duration for no more compression he has.
Yeah, that's spending a lot of time open, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. It seems I need a lot of throttle to keep it from dying. And I've already rebuilt the carb base timing at 18 and total at 40. What do you think my problem is?
Well, 8.5 to 1 compression.
No, 9.5.
A 9.5.
Yeah.
You need about a 280 degree cam.
Okay.
282 or something. Not 290 or not 300.
Now he said a 580 lift and a 300 duration.
Duration's your problem.
Duration is the problem.
Yeah, it holds the valve open. When the piston's gone to the bottom and going to the top, the valve's still open.
Yeah, all the compression ratio in the world doesn't help if the valve's open.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have to match to make it run good.
So you're saying he should have a 280 duration cam?
280 cam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garrett, all you have to do is swap the cam and you'll be happy, I think.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people do that because somebody said they needed a 3/4 race cam or something.
And you'll get
They think
3/4?
the cam's bigger the better. That's not true.
No, it's not true, is it?
No.
Yeah, that's good. This is from The Greener the Meaner. He says, less surface contact means less friction, especially if you keep the crank riding on oil. What are Ed's thoughts on a bearing surface speed between a short stroke cranks and long stroke cranks?
Okay, there is a thing on the crankshafts.
Yeah.
And we understand that. And we'll have to go back to some of the knowledge I have. For instance, we'll go back to that guy in Florida. They would take a brand new motor and turn the crank 30 under on the rods and mains.
Before they even did anything else?
Yeah, did anything else, yeah.
Okay.
So we're talking about surface on it. So that would make it smaller. That would put it on the same thing as a pulley on a belt. A big pulley is small. So when you turn it 30 under, it slowed the speed down between the crankshaft and the bearing because it was a smaller diameter.
Right.
So therefore, it made it last longer. And that's when you slowed that down, you didn't have as much surface, bearing surface. So therefore, it would spin easier.
Interesting.
So going back to the same article, he just kind of surprised me. People think about that sometimes, but I think he knows more than the question.
Yeah.
If he asked me that question, yes, slow the diameter of the circles down. Even though some of the funny cars have got that big motor, which it has to have a strong crank,
right?
Like that crank laying over there, has got a 2.5-inch main bearings. Are huge, but they have to have that for strength.
I see.
You can't just cut it down and eliminate it. It's like NASCAR then, for a while back, was turning their, like a 350 crank, was 2.25. They turned it down to 2-inch. Then they turned it down. He asked somebody, he said, "What kind of motor is this?" He says, "Well, it's part Nissan."
Okay.
He says, "Well, what do you mean?" He says, "It's got 1/800,000th rod bearings, and they run a Nissan connecting rods."
Oh.
And Nissan bearings. So then, right away, NASCAR made a rule. You can't turn them under 1/800.
That's the limit.
That's the limit, yeah. So they always, you try to do something and NASCAR makes some kind of a rule that you can't do it. Or you can't do any more. But so there you are, smaller journal. 1/800. The main bearings are turned down, it spins faster.
So now you're actually coming against people that want these big journal crankshafts. I guess they think it's stronger, so it's better because it's bigger. But you're saying that's not true. It might be stronger, but it's
stronger.
Yeah.
If you have that thing and it was stronger, would by maybe pushing. And normally these crankshafts turned down like that was on a carburation, single 4-barrel carburation, and a certain compression ratio and things like this.
Yeah.
And not so much, not 12.5 to 113.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get a turbocharger on it with 25 pounds of turbocharge. and it breaks the crank in half. It
Missed the-
depends on what you're doing. You got to do your homework.
Okay, but I almost missed one part of this question here.
Okay, what's the rest?
He's talking about, well, it's still the same question, but he was talking about surface contact for friction. He wasn't thinking about the speed.
Well, it's the same.
Okay.
Friction and the speed. Friction is the same thing.
It's still going to be the same
Yeah.
idea, right?
If you turn it down, it's smaller.
Yep.
You have less friction.
Yeah. You can
That's
even
the
get
thing, it'll spin better.
you can even use a smaller oil pan. Or maybe not.
Maybe not.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Thank you. That was a
That's a
fun
good
question.
question.
Yeah,
I
that
like
was really,
questions like that.
yeah, that was really
You have to
good.
make me think a little bit.
Yeah. Dale said, you can get 3/4 grooved main bearings and the groove extended into both ends of the lower main shell to increase oil flow to the main.
Yeah.
The bottom was not grooved to provide more area for the, it says CS support. Is that crankshaft?
Crankshaft support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Crankshaft. So what do you think about those kind of bearings?
Well, we have some of them that you can buy a bearing that's full groove bearing, and then years ago we used to cut the crank
Yeah.
and put a groove all the way around the crank on the mains,
Yeah,
so oiled all the way around, instead of having a hole that comes up once in a while.
right.
It's called time. It only has squirts oil halfway around the crank. It
Right.
don't there. So we would like to have it all the way around,
But
but not necessarily. The bearing would have a pretty good sized groove in it, so we might cut a smaller groove in the bearing, and maybe cut or if it's full bearing, we cut a groove in the crank. So
Okay.
it oils all the time.
right, okay.
Yeah, on the mains.
On the
and
main.
sometimes you can do that. Of course, our rods, we have a hole in the rod in the crankshaft. We countersunk that.
Okay.
So it oils, instead of oiling just a 1/4 inch, as wide as that hole, then we'll countersunk it, so it will oil almost the whole width of the bearing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with a bigger, like a funnel upside down.
Yeah, right.
Countersunk it.
Huh.
So it'll oil the better part of the main, or the rod bearing. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
We do
okay.
that all the time over here.
So you do it all the time.
Even on standard motors.
Okay.
The guy that puts them together has always got it on a polishing machine. He's over there countersinking all those rod
I've seen them do
oil
it.
holes. Yeah,
Yeah.
you see him.
Yeah.
And he polishes when he gets done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you consider that a good general practice?
We do that in our motors.
All the
'cause
time?
We want them to last.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we can just do something that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not like a set up on a machine, all that kind of stuff, but they do it all the time, both the builders.
So is it your preference to groove the bearing and the crank all the time?
Not the bearing, one or the other.
One or the other?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Bill is asking, he's got a 34 Ford Flathead. Wow. That's even older than that Ford behind you.
Yeah.
Okay. And the question is, he's got a temperature gauge on each bank of cylinders. One, the coolant runs 200 degrees, and the other side is running 160. That's a pretty big difference. He's checked this coolant and did not find any exhaust gas in the fluid, because that could have been a problem, right, with those
Yeah, it could
flatheads.
have. Yeah.
Do you have any ideas what would cause one side to cool that much differently?
I would check one side of the radiator and the other side of the radiator also to see where it's pumping out there. I might blame that on one water pump
Yeah.
or something. I think if I had time, I'd take that water pump off there, take a look at it, see what it is.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's no reason unless he has one exhaust plugged up.
Okay.
And if he has the original exhaust where it crosses underneath the motor,
Yeah.
now you got two exhausts going out the same pipe. All 8 cylinders out one pipe.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And the one would do pretty free
Okay.
exhaust in it. But then when you have some restrictions there where you got all 8 cylinders going out one tailpipe.
Okay. Yeah. So you're talking about back pressure, I
Yes,
guess.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There's
So
not much. The carburetor is right in the middle of the motor,
right?
so it's not leaning. I don't think it's leaning one way or the other.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that the Flathead Ford, the two sides coolants don't touch each other in the engine, do they?
They do not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can be very distinct.
Yeah.
Could
I
there-
know that Ford originally has 2 temperature gauges, and they wired them together.
Really?
Yeah, and one wire went to the gauge.
Oh, so was the gauge then kind of an
They
average?
didn't
of
have
the-
2 gauges.
Was the temperature gauge in the car an average of the two?
Average of the 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
So it's kind of a weird thing there.
Okay, that's good. I like that. I think you gave him some good clues. We're back on the crankshaft grooving. Okay. You were talking about main bearings in that video. He said he likes 360 oiling on the rods, and a better idea is to cross-drill the crank, in his opinion, and that way the lower bearing can retain surface area. So what are your thoughts on that?
Cross drill the crank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The main bearings furnish enough oil for the rod bearings.
Okay.
It depends on what motor you have. Each one is different.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of customers ask us about the Oldsmobile and the main bearings and the way they're
You
joined
talk
together.
about that 455 big block?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then, even in ours, small block Chevys, we drill the three mains,
Right.
drill them bigger,
Yeah.
because each main bearing services two rod bearings. And the ends just service one and the bearing. But mainly the oils, again, each one, like, we love drilling our three on the Chevy motors,
Okay.
the three mains. The Fords, I'm not sure. We mess with those sometimes too.
Okay.
And the main thing is Fords, I think, is getting the oil hole and the bearing to line up somewhere. Sometimes the bearings don't line up perfectly.
I see. Yeah.
And the main bearings.
Yeah.
So you need to put the main bearing shells, whatever brand you buy, and put them in that motor and make sure there's no differences.
Okay.
And sometimes if there is, we would drill the bearing out and take the differences, drill the hole in the bearing, the oil hole, bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
To make sure that it's going to
Yeah.
flow easily.
So each motor you have to inspect every one of them
Okay.
to make sure everything lines up, but not necessarily cross drilling the crank.
Okay. You're not that big a fan
I
of
haven't
that.
drilled a cross drilled the crank for a long time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned different brands of bearings. Do you have a favorite brand?
Cleveite probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. May as well ask.
Yeah.
70 Superbird says if you groove the crank, and you're kind of touched on it, but wouldn't that potentially weaken the crank?
Yes.
Yes. So you don't want to groove it too much.
No. A slight groove, just a little one. You don't
Yes.
groove it. I don't know what would be extreme.
Right.
I really don't know, but
You know when you see it?
But what kind of car? What, Firebird?
Well, no, his
Or just
name,
a-
his signature name is 70 Superbird. That's a
All right.
Mopar
Okay.
thing.
Okay. All Superbirds. Mopar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says it's easier to replace a bearing than a crankshaft.
Yeah.
So you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. All right, Greg is asking, and thank you, Greg, for your questions. He often has something to add in here. I had to get an engine running in 2 days with the parts that were laying around one time. I had a 283 with one piston different, and I had two different heads, a 1.94 head and a 1.76 head with different chambers. It ran 2 weeks until I could build a replacement engine. It had to be way out of balance, but I was able to do it with a small block Chevy. So I guess sometimes, we talked about swapping things on these different engines. You can get away with things at least for a little while, I guess.
Yeah, it would. One would have have more compression than the other one, a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, this is going to be one whole compression ratio.
Right.
And one of them's going to be 10, the other one 9.
Right.
The heads don't make that much difference.
Okay.
Very, very little, unless you had a special head on it or something like that.
Yeah. Have you ever done something like that in the old days, maybe?
Oh, survival.
Yeah.
We used anything we had,
Sure.
as long as we didn't have to buy something new.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, does that include racing?
Not necessarily.
Not so much racing.
Not so much racing.
Yeah. But sometimes
We
that's...
tried to get it as close as we could, or else we would. A lot of times, to look back at it, we might trade somebody for something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if the guy had something, we might trade him a nice 4-barrel intake for a pair of heads.
I see.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
So not necessarily did it cost us money out of our pocket.
Right. Yeah.
Except we didn't have any money.
So that's where it pays to know other people that are...
Yeah, I know other people. Yeah, know
Yeah,
other.
see what you can do to help each
Yeah.
other.
It's always good to trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trading is good. Okay, thank you, Greg. That's a good one. Do you happen to know, when you're building a Flathead V8, do you happen to know what the clearance is between the valve guide and the block?
Because usually valve seals on, we like to put the valve seals on all of them.
Okay.
On all the guides, not necessarily just the intakes.
Okay.
And I love the round O-ring valve seals instead of the square ones that came in. I think Speedway now, I bought something the other day from Speedway, and they were the square valve seals. And they don't fit in their block right. It's like pushing them down a square hole.
Yeah.
It's going to take some material off of them.
Right.
And the round one, you can oil it up and put a little grease on it. We like to put wheel bearing grease, a little bit, and not necessarily oil, and grease that guide and it slides right in.
Okay.
But they would probably be 3 or 4 thousandths.
Okay.
Yeah, no more than that.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's got that big heavy clamp on the bottom anyways.
Right.
It's going to hold it still.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we
that's
want them tight. If they're looser, and we always have a hone and a brush. I brush them all and make sure the guide fits in the block, where it feels good. And if it does, I mark that guide and keep it in that hole.
okay.
Every one of them all the way down. So once I fit them in there, I want to keep them in that guide. The same way you put the valve in it. Put the valve in that guide, you check that and you collect the clearance, you leave it in that hole.
Okay.
You don't change it to something
Don't
else.
move things around.
Yeah, because you fitted it in that hole and it needs to stay there. That's a little bit something. Just be careful with the flatheads.
Yeah.
Some of those things are a little bit different. Of course, we always use the solid valve guides, not the two-piece.
Okay.
The two-piece are terrible. And we just throw them right away in the junk.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
tear the motor apart and you got two pieces. They may not match for the valve. Yeah, this half here may match. The other match may be way up in front or in the box.
Where did you go,
You
right?
got a whole pile of them. Which ones to match? You'd have to take out 2 of them, put in a vise, and take a valve reamer, a valve guide reamer, and straighten them up again.
Yeah.
Just throw them away.
Yeah.
They're really troublesome.
This is a camshaft question from Midwest Optimist. He says, does gun drilling and adding a sleeve to a camshaft and crankshaft significantly increase horsepower? Is there a limit to horsepower gains when reducing rotating mass?
He's talking about gun drill and a camshaft? You want to do that. You wouldn't want to do that to a regular cam. You'd have to do it to a steel cam.
Okay.
There was a roller,
Okay.
and we understand our axles are gun drilled, and we understand that a gun drilled axle is stronger than a solid axle. We'll go back to NASCAR.
Okay.
We don't see so much of that in our drag cars because our drag cars just goes to RPMs, 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 you're done.
Right.
Pretty fast.
Yep.
In NASCAR, when they're running around the track at 6,500, 7 grand, maybe a little more, is the camshaft flexes backwards. So now the front of the cam is driven, it's in time. The back half is lazy.
Ah,
It flexes around.
wow.
So now, on a NASCAR cam, you'd want to grind it. When you grind it, you want to grind it forward on the back side.
Wow.
So then at 7,500, they all line up perfect, and you go right by the other guy. There you go around the track. You pull up behind him and go right around him. That's old. That's old. Everybody does it now.
okay. But
So that's why they can all run the bunch for 500 miles, and the only way you get around somebody is run into them.
right.
Yeah. So that's in the engine. So they do flex, and that's just part of it.
Wow. See, we hadn't talked about that before. That's
Yeah,
good.
that's one of the secret things on NASCAR. Well, it's not secret anymore.
But it was.
It used to be years ago, yeah.
Yeah, it was a secret.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
With the push rods, and there's so much to do in every NASCAR motor that, again, the people that build the motor, they won't even tell you their name. So anyways, those secrets like that are interesting.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
And that's just one thing.
That's pretty crazy.
That motor's about as complicated and is probably about as engineered and designed way beyond what normal people think about.
Yeah. I mean, when you describe it, it's like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Have I ever thought of that? No way.
Yeah.
Boy, we got a lot of technical engine questions today. This
I
is
know,
like
yeah. What is today?
We are in an
Not
engine.
even Friday.
It's not. Okay. Instead of using the wrist pin, why not use a ball joint kind of an idea? Thinking the piston is going to stay located by the piston and the rings. So why are we worried about the wrist pin being a pin? Why can't it be a ball joint?
He's going to put a ball joint on the end of the rod.
Yeah.
You know, what's he have a hook to?
Well, he didn't say. It's an idea he's talking about. I don't know that.
He has to hook it to the rod, to the piston somehow. And he has to hook it with some quality material. Just like we used to race our big block Chevys, and we built some powerful motors, bent the wrist pin.
You are kidding me.
Yeah. So we took it around and put Chrysler Hemi wrist pins in it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Stop that right there. So that's enough things. I don't think I'd want to mess with something less than a wrist pin.
Yeah.
I know some years ago, I took a motor apart from a guy, and he still has the motor. He was just in the other day. We were talking about it. We took it apart, and the wrist pins were chrome.
Really?
And the chrome started coming off of them. Oh. So I called him, and he had that motor just a short while, and took it all apart for some reason. And there was another guy who was supposed to put it together, and he had it for several months and didn't do anything. So he went and bought it here one Saturday afternoon, drove up here, and says, "You want to put this motor together?" I said, "Sure." So we unloaded it. But on something like that, I tore it apart, every piece of it. The wrist pins were starting to come, the chrome come off of them. So I called several people in the wrist pin business, the piston business. They never had chrome wrist pins. So then I called my friend in New York, Scott Shafroff.
Okay.
And I think, well, I haven't talked to him for 50 years, but anyways, I talked to him and I said, "Hey, I'm in trouble. What about this thing?" And he says, "Call this wrist pin company in Chicago."
Okay.
And they make wrist pins for everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
Everybody.
So I called him up, and the guy was so nice.
Huh.
This is a 426 Chrysler Hemi.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, with a short wrist pin length. I called him. Yeah, he says, there were some people that chrome wrist pins for a while. So they did. Yes, they did. So I said, "I want some wrist pins and sort up." He says, "What size are they?" And within a few minutes, he sent me back and says, "I got a set for you." And he sold them to me cheap.
No kidding.
So what a good friend.
That's awesome.
And he was such a nice guy to be in. They knew when I was in trouble.
Yeah.
And we put the motor together, and my friend still has that motor.
Okay.
But it's kind of strange. It's things you run onto once in a while.
Yeah.
And the Chrysler wrist pins are a lot bigger than 454. So there's some weird things though at the wrist pins, and it depends on compression ratio and fuel and what you're doing with them and things. But I don't think I'd want to mess with some kind of a ball joint in there or something.
Yeah. It made us think.
I know the ball joint he's talking about is something like, is that joint on the end of a Heim joint,
Yeah.
the ball in there with a hole through it.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be less, but
Yeah. Because even though it's only a down pressure for the power stroke,
yeah,
you still need it attached going in every direction.
going the other way, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Well, right now, I don't know of anything better than a wrist pin. I don't know if anybody would want to change it better than a wrist pin either.
Mm-hmm. Well, it made us think.
Yeah, we got to think about that.
Good question. Thank you. Kevin is saying, please ask Ed if you can remember Johnny Loper. He came up with a 389 small block Chevy, and he had it in his Little Haas Angela.
Yeah.
That's my brain teaser for Ed. Does he know what the recipe was for his 389?
I don't know. That's that motor we talked about some time ago.
Yeah.
I was one time, and there was two laying on the floor in his garage at home.
Okay.
Before he had a shop, and both of them had number 7 rod bearing hanging out of it. On both number 7 rod bearings on both of them, where they flew apart.
So there's the same weakness in both of them somehow.
And that's those ones that he ground on the sides. Ground the side of the motor down. He ground the fuel pump, block off the fuel pump, ground that off and sealed it up. Ground on the bell housing bolts, trying to make it lighter and lighter and lighter. So the whole motor, he must have ground on the motor for a year.
Yeah, right.
With a grinder.
He would grind on it until you could almost see through it.
Yeah.
But
and it went fast.
It was fast, yeah.
Once or twice. But again, yeah, I've known him quite well.
Yeah, okay, Kevin, he doesn't really know exactly what that recipe was.
I don't know what the recipe was, and I don't know what, I think he had Arius pistons in it.
Okay.
I don't know what rods they were. It looked like they were not aluminum rods.
Okay, they were steel?
Yeah, they were something.
Yeah.
They could have been a Buick rod, 6-inch rod, but I don't know. And Camshaft, of course, he was sponsored by Crowler.
Okay.
And had Crowler camshafts in it. So.
Now, when you talk about camshafts, I don't know why this, I was thinking about somebody else that asked the question. You have a crankshaft shop here. Do you do custom grinds for people on crankshafts?
Crankshaft?
Yeah.
Oh, we do some, yeah.
Someone was asking that randomly the other day.
Yeah.
Winton is asking, I wonder if Ed has ever used a W&H Du-Coil distributor.
Of course, yes.
Of course, yes.
Of course, yes.
Okay, so that's going to be a good answer. And he said they were essentially alternating order. Do you remember a 2 and then 4 cylinder, had independent points and 2 coils and a double-ended rotor? Do you remember all this
Sure.
stuff? Okay.
I have some laying within the counter.
Well, let's try to get a picture of them later. Well,
Okay.
When we talk about that.
You put the timing in it because it fired on one end of the rotor.
Okay.
Then it fired on the other end next.
Okay.
It fired on the other end. So if you looked at it, the distributor sat there, all 4 wires on this side of the distributor went on this side of the motor. And the other 4 went on this side.
Wow.
And people walk up and look and say, that won't run that way. Because you got this 4 was all in line for this side of the cylinder. And the other 4 was in the other. It says, well, it runs fine. He said, how do you get that to run that way? And they're pretty puzzled, which is cute.
That is fun.
But the coils didn't get hot. The points didn't get hot either.
That
The
are
cap
kinda-
was usually a big size.
Okay.
So it separated between the terminals, the distance between one terminal and the other one. So the spark didn't jump back and forth.
I see.
It jumped from this side here, clear across the cap to the other one.
So was it a rotor that had contacts on both
ends,
sides?
yeah, both ends, yeah. It's got 2 coils.
There they are. Okay, let's see how this is put together here. Can I get in there? Yeah, I can see. Whoa, okay, there's the 2 sets of points down there.
Yeah. This one here fires out this side, and the center one fires out here.
In the cap.
Cap is the same way.
It's got a ring it runs around.
Yeah, one of them's got a wick.
Oh, it's got a spring on it?
Spring on it, yeah. That runs around one cap, and the other one runs down the center.
Okay. That is really a cool idea, though. Look at that. For Anaheim, California, just like you were saying.
It has 2 ignitions, 2 different condensers.
Yeah, I see that.
Now this particular distributor is really old.
You think it's from the 40s?
Our newer ones, the newer one, Du-Coil, was different than this. It was a little better design.
Okay.
This must be, I'd like to know what this is off of. It may even be, it's an 8-cylinder.
Yep.
So with this drive, I'm not familiar with this drive. It had to be an 8-cylinder.
Yeah.
It could possibly be a straight 8. They were made over in California, just above Disneyland.
Okay.
W&H Du-Coil, maybe about 5 miles north of Disneyland. And then Mr. Gaskets bought them out,
Oh.
the whole distributor company. And then they started making distributors for Mr. Gasket. And they stopped the Du-Coil.
Huh.
So the first Mr. Gasket distributors, I think they had Dodge points in them, little short Dodge. And they put Ford points in them for a while in a Mr. Gasket distributor.
Huh.
And most of them had 55 Chevy rotors and caps on a Mr. Gasket distributor. So that's where the whole thing went, yeah.
That's what happened.
I don't hear that question very often.
Yeah, that's
He
interesting.
has
I've
to be
never heard
old.
of
He
that.
must be 80 years old.
Yeah, I don't know. Winton, run us back and tell us how old you are, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Bob. He's saying the larger gap between the terminals helps accuracy of the spark time to be more correct. That's what I've always believed. Would you please ask Ed? Was it more accurate also?
Was what?
That when the spark plug, when the rotor had to travel further to the next terminal.
More accurate, yeah.
More accurate too.
Yeah.
So it'd be cooler, it would be jump less.
Yeah. I think, talk about distributors and stuff, I think MSD has some spark plug distributors and stuff that we can adjust that. Like maybe number 5 or 6, we can move number 8 over a little bit and make it run cooler. Volkswagen. So when you put a spark plug wires on a Volkswagen distributor where you tune it up, you better put that one where it's supposed to be
Right.
and put the rest of them where they're supposed to be. A
Wow.
lot of people don't like it, but Volkswagen guy would know that
Interesting.
on the old flathead Force.
Yeah, it was the twin flathead.
Yeah, right, that, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So just one cylinder would be
On a Volkswagen.
retarded a little bit
Yeah,
in their spark
yeah.
to make it run cooler.
On a cooler, yeah. That one cylinder gets hot
Yeah.
because it's right in this next one, yeah. So anyways, MSD makes one, I think you can change that point degrees a little bit too.
Yeah. And you're just reminding me now also of that Oddfire Buick V6 where they had different spaces between certain cylinders. One would wait a little while longer because they were 30 degrees offset that when top dead center came.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they had a funky, weird rotor cap too.
Rotor and cap. And I got this 40 here I bought the other day.
Yeah.
And so I've got to get that run. It hasn't ran for about 5 or 6 years, and so the fuel line's hardened and it just broke right off.
Okay.
It's a rubber hose, so we're changing all that.
Okay. So
Put a
that's-
battery in it. We had it running the other day.
Okay.
It runs nice, and so
So-
I'll mess with it. And
It seems like when you're working on a car, they're always rust-free. There's a little bit of a pattern here where they're...
Well, I don't like rust cars.
Right.
That's why I moved from Ohio.
Yeah.
Because rust and then I remember when we were working on there, you'd be working underneath the car up on the hoist and there's a bunch of snow up there, slush, ice, and it falls on your head and goes down your back of your neck.
Yeah.
So that's the time to pack your tools up and go to Arizona.
That was your clue. Yeah. That's a really great place to stop. We had so many engine questions today, and you were right there.
It was a lot.
Yeah, and you were right ready for it too.
Yeah.
I like it. So Ed, thank you for answering all these questions, and thank you guys for joining us for another Ask Ed Smith. For those that don't know him, he has done so much circle track racing, drag racing, engine building, machine shop, everything in the world for 50 years, master mechanic for Chrysler, I don't know, all these things. Thank you, Edward. It's a joy to have you here.
It's been fun.
It is a lot of fun.
I've enjoyed life.
That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, and we'll see you on the next one.